Oh, I got some juicy news for you. Profit First app version 2.0 is here. With an enhanced user experience and video guidance throughout, you can now be even more confident in your Profit First implementation. Plus, listeners who work with a certified Profit First professional get extra benefits. Check it out now at www.profitfirstapp.com.
Today, right here, right now, this is the moment that you will finally say,
I'm growing my accounting practice, and you're going to discover exactly how right here, right now,
on the Grow My Accounting Practice podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ron Saharian, co-founder of Profit First Professionals.
And I'm Liz Sporn, guide here at Profit First Professionals.
And I'm Mike Michalowicz, author of Profit First. And guess what? You're listening to GMAP, stands for Grow My Accounting Practice. We are here to teach you the step-by-step on exactly that, how to grow your practice if you're a bookkeeper, if you're an accountant, or a coach. And we do it through a great guest interview, including today's interview. Plus, Ron has insider access, something he's developed for our office we think you can use over at your office. And I have a GMAP Now task. The one task, if you do it, you'll see results by the end of this show.
Awesome, guys. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find us on any podcatcher out there. Make sure you like and subscribe. All right, today's episode brought to you by Sums Plus Solution, our exclusive staffing provider of Profit First professionals in America. Definitely reach out to them when you need the right resource. And here's a tip, okay, pro tip. We know tax time's coming and you're going to need those extra resources. So reach out to Sums Plus Solution now, today. Get your resources, get the quality resources before your competition snaps them up. Tell them Ron said hello.
And tell her Ron said hello. She was so great. Michelle Scribner is the founder, owner of that business, and she is a Profit First professional. Her presentation yesterday for the whole group was so great. How she shared her big, scary hiring and losing half of her team story. I mean, that was a spooky story. And well, I do love a good comeback. It was a great comeback story.
Hiring is one of the biggest challenges that we have. And a lot of people talk about always be interviewing, right? I'm like, time out. While I get that, that's a flawed strategy. Okay. Why be always interviewing if you don't have money to hire somebody, right? So what do we do as Profit First professionals? We have a new hire account. Okay. When you have a new hire account, you keep that flush with 90 days worth of salary of the next hire you're going to be. Then you can always be interviewing because you have the money to act on a rock star. Speaking of rock stars.
Oh, I was giving you a bomb drop on that one. It blew my ears out.
But speaking of rock stars.
Oh, would you like me to introduce our guest?
I would.
Great. And we're so excited to have John Zakel Jr. Don't pretend this is his dad. He's not his dad. He's his own person. He's a grown man. John Zakel Jr. is the founder of Smooth 401k, a retirement plan advisory firm serving small and mid-sized businesses nationwide, managing over $1 billion with a B in plan assets for 180 plus employers. He and his team simplify 401k management with fiduciary oversight, smart tech, and transparent pricing. A recognized industry voice, John is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and their employees build wealth through better plan design and education. And he also happens to be a really decent human. So one of his unique things that he shared with us was that he was a part of the largest kidney donation chain in the Cleveland Clinic history in 2020 when he donated a kidney, which started a chain where 8 people received kidneys. Wow. He also represents residents in Middleburg Heights as a council member. He's really good people.
Did you donate your kidney or somebody else's?
Welcome. I guess it was mine. I guess I don't know. You have 2 of them. You only need one. So
you only need one. So welcome, John. We're excited you're here.
Yeah. And, sorry to get personal, but can you explain, I mean, that's wonderful, John. I mean, I didn't know that about story. You until I read more. This.
Yeah.
What started that?
Yeah. It was one of those opportunities that I think come into your wheelhouse in your life that, something inside of you hits you and you said, you got to be a part of this.
Yeah.
It's one of those. So a family member sent out a group text to the family saying that an uncle was going through some health issues and that he was possibly in need of a kidney. And then they're going to be, possibly looking at folks to get tested to see if they're a possible match. So I looked at the text, I put it down, and I think an hour later, I'm like, I'm going to text back to this person and say, I will do it. Right. So I did that, and come to find out, I was the second in line. My mother-in-law was the first one to go get tested. The cool thing about kidney donation is I've learned a lot through the process.
Love that.
You go through rigorous testing. My wife is a physician at a metro hospital here, and she looked at all the tests. She's like, that was a couple $100,000 in tests from head to toe. And what they do, they have the donor team of doctors for the recipient team of doctors, and they try to rule you out to make sure it's a perfect match. So they kind of present this donor, hey, how do we roll them out? So you go through all this testing. My mother-in-law did that, was a match, but they found out her kidney size was too small. So they brought in the righty. I'm a baseball guy.
No.
They brought in the righty. Next up in line, I went through all the testing. And what's interesting about that as well is that during the testing, they tell you that, hey, just so you know, you got to sign a form. We may find stuff in these tests that you may not want to know, or you may have never found out that may be bad, through a hair follicle or something with cancer or something. Like with all these scans they do, you may find something that's been lurking in there that you never would have found out until it's too late. So just
Oh
FYI.
boy.
Oh, Jesus.
So long story short, got all tested. I was a match. I was O positive, so I was a universal blood type that you could you could donate to anybody, right? You didn't have to be a perfect match. So the doctor, who I still talk to this day, we see him at all the kidney events still, Dr. Wee, he came to me and said, all right, John, I have a proposal. You could by all means donate to your uncle, and that's a perfect match there. Or I'm able to use your kidney and place it with another recipient that's in the line. And what happens a lot of times is that Ron needs a kidney, say his family member wants to donate, but they're not a match, right? So you have that quite a bit. So he said, I would be able to give my kidney to Ron, who's second in line. His donor that didn't match can give it to Liz. And I could create this chain where over 8 people would get a kidney in this 2-week span.
Wow.
Amazing.
So I looked at it and said, as long as my uncle's getting a good kidney, if not better, I don't care. I'm not going to see it ever again. And as long as it's just as good or better, then it's cool with me. So we went along with that process. I was the first one to go. So I think I was the first one on the first day. It was a kind of a 2-week period. Everything went really well. I was out of the hospital in like 2 days, walking around.
Wow.
It was great. And I think everybody got a kidney out of it. I think 8 total people,
Wow.
16 total people inside the chain. And so how it works, it's kind of a chain reaction. That donor that was supposed to give to Ron gives to the next person, their donor gives to the next person, and so on. And so it was really neat. At the time, it was the largest kidney chain donation in Cleveland Clinic history.
Cool.
I actually got to meet the person that got my kidney.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yay!
There's a lot of HIPAA stuff going on, right? But
Yeah.
they were able to do it. They were able to film it on the news. I got a chance to walk into a room and see the person that got my kidney.
That's
Hear
wow.
her story. Her daughter, who was trying to donate to her, that wasn't a match with her mom. Her kidney went to my uncle. So how all the chain works, we're really connected. She lives 20 minutes away. We talk and see each other all the time. She's still doing really well. So is my uncle. So it's so far.
How does it? Congratulations. Well done, bro.
That's
I'm really
awesome.
proud of you. Thank you for doing that.
That's cool.
Is it weird having your body part and somebody else walking around
with
it?
Ron, I haven't thought of it that way. I haven't looked at it that way, but we name them. So for whatever reason, my kidney is called Kiki, just as a funny name. So when my recipient talks about it, hey, Kiki's still doing good. My uncle has a name, so you kind of name
That's
it, I guess.
awesome.
But I haven't really thought of it. But it's really cool to think that something that you have could also affect somebody else, and you can plug and play different car parts. It's crazy.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like we're all connected anyway. So I don't feel like it would be weird. You're we're all connected anyway. I'm
a donor. I checked my donor thing when I got my ID.
Oh, John, thank you for doing that. Yeah. This is I hope that inspired somebody, maybe me. I feel like as I'm O positive, I need to look into that.
Yeah.
I need a mitzvah for my 51st.
So I knew John was a good guy. And so full disclosure, John and I are in a mastermind group. It's called the Deal Maker Alliance. Liz, you're familiar with that. I believe everybody should, be in special rooms only to get better and stuff like that. And John and I were talking, and I was asking what he does, 401ks and all that great stuff. And he's asking what I do. And I'm telling him, membership organization accountants. And we started talking, and we started, talking about how accounting firms and bookkeeping firms could really leverage, the 401k to help their customers in terms of, one, more holistic approach to managing a business owner. So I wanted John to come on in and just share a little bit more about how he's worked with accounting firms and other type of firms, leveraging the 401k, and how, somebody like him and his company can be, an asset for an accounting and bookkeeper firm. So how does one do that, John? Like, don't I have to go to a 401k, like what, my accountant? Can't they just set that up?
Sometimes.
Okay.
So our firm, we're financial advisors at heart, right? With all
Okay.
the securities license and everything like that. What we're different, how we're different is we specialize just in the 401k space, which not many do, right? So this is our niche. We're a boutique firm. Just to give a little bit of background, 20 plus years of experience in this space. Where most kind of flow off into the financial wellness, individual wealth planning, things like that, where it's way more lucrative. And I think I tell people all the time, you don't go to college or wake up one day when you're 16 and be like, I want to be a 401k guy when I grow up, or gal,
Nope.
right? It just doesn't happen. But you fall into this space. And why I loved it is that I grew up in a middle class household. My dad was a part of the Teamsters. My mom worked regular jobs. They never really had the savings or idea. And finding out that, starting early when you're 25 or 30, $10 to pay could mean such a big difference in not only their lifetime, but their family's lifetime in their wealth. And so I love the fact that we could work with small businesses to teach their employees to say, you may not think $10 is a lot per pay, but if you do this systematically and automatically throughout your career, this $10 can mean hundreds, millions of dollars in retirement when you're 60, 65, right? So, how CPAs work with us.
Yeah.
Most are not really up to date on all the new laws, legislation, and what's going on in the marketplace, right?
Right.
You a lot of times they think about three different types of accounts as a business owner. You have the SEP IRA, you have the simple IRA, and a 401k plan are kind of the three main drivers there, right? So I think a lot of times they're just not really up to date on all the knowledge around 401k plans. I think with all the tax credits available that are brand new in the past couple of years, the flexibility of these things, the contribution limits, they could really look into utilizing the 401k plan as not only a tax strategy for the company. So I love what you guys do in terms of profit first and save money for yourself, right? But I think every business owner looks at how do I get more revenue and how do I pay less taxes? And you could utilize the 401k plan as a great tax strategy with your strategy you're utilizing as the CPA or accountant with the business owner, and just add a different layer to it that not only helps save taxes, but also helps with retention and hiring better employees.
Yeah, I'm going to give an insider access right now. Okay. And so one of the things that's exactly what we're doing here at Profit First Professionals. We offer a defined benefit program, and it allows Mike and I to put in additional money on top of the 15 or 18,000 that it is. And in order to do that, we have a 401k bank account that we're constantly funding. And the way, and John, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but basically an actuary is going to tell Mike and I how much we need to contribute to the retirement of the staff. Okay. That amount gets, given to the staff, which allows Mike and I to add even more. And I think it is such a worthwhile investment. I don't know if you can talk about, how that works or anything, but it's a no-brainer for us to invest the thousands of dollars that goes into our 401ks when they don't even have to participate. Can you explain how that all works?
Yeah. So I think a lot of the working class is familiar with pensions.
Yeah.
Maybe their parents or grandparents had pensions. They used to live off those when they retired and Social Security, and they were really happy and everything was great. I think most people understand that nowadays you can't really do that. There's not really any pensions around. There's been no new ones in the past decade. And Social Security, that average payment's around $1,500 a month. That it's not going to do it for everybody, right? So I think more than ever, folks are aware that you have to save for yourself. So, Ron, what you mentioned these things get thrown out a lot, which is I think what's difficult about the retirement space.
Yeah.
You mentioned a defined benefit plan, right? So those are traditionally employer contributions that go into a plan for employees that they could use at a later date. The more traditional side of it, so that works more like a pension. So call that defined benefit, all
Okay.
employer contributions. The more used one nowadays, I think, is it's called a DC or defined contribution plan. So what that means is that you actually have access to kind of three different buckets of money. You have one that employees could put away themselves. So that's where you get the defined contribution. Comes out of the employee's paycheck if they want to, right? They could do up to the IRS limits, which is 23,500 this year.
Oh, wow.
Comes directly out of their pay. Why these are great is because it makes it really easy for them. I tell all the folks I talk to, if we said, all right, Ron, you got to save for yourself when you're 25 years old, you get paid, go to the bank, cash out your check, go take $100 and go take it to another bank for your retirement plan.
Right.
Nobody would ever do that.
Right.
You'd spend it on the way there. You would just forget.
I need the auto
forget
draft.
Right. So the 401k gives people an easy way to save because it's auto deducted out of their paycheck, right? It's easy. It's out of sight, out of mind. It goes into their account. The other option is the company match. So the employer could also kick in dollars on top of their dollars in form of a match. And then they could also utilize a third bucket called profit share. It's right into your guys' name. This is a bucket they could tap into inside the 401k plan. So you got employee contributions during the year that is elective by the employee. Company kicks in a small match if they want to. And then what's nice about the 401k and kind of diving into the flexibility of it is that even after the year is over, so the year shakes out, all the books are done, you could tap into the profit sharing bucket on the 401k plan up until you file your tax return for the company. So March, April, October, if you're on extensions, you could look to see how the year already played out. You could work with an actuary like you talked about, Ron. They could tell you based on the demographics of your plan, here's how much you could put in for each person inside the plan. It doesn't got to be the same amount. It could be kind of weighed based on ages and wages and a couple of other factors. But you could tap into that bucket up until you file your taxes for the previous year. So that's utilized quite a bit of companies that see how the year shakes out. Hey, we had a great year. My CPA or accountant's saying I have a big tax bill of $50,000. They'll call me up and say, hey, John, how much of that $50,000 can we put into the plan? Let me know out of that amount how much we could put to the ownership so they get a better benefit. And what that does when we talked about retention, that profit sharing bucket has a longer vesting schedule to there. So when we were talking about retention and hiring and tax savings, the 401k and the defined contribution plans, DB plans are great as well. Both give everybody a great option.
Right. Okay. How would an accounting firm leverage you in a service offering? I mean, would they say like, so I can imagine my, my accounting firm, their advisors, they say to me, hey, Ron, let's talk about some cost cutting and stuff like that. Have you reviewed your 401k plan? Like, are people overspending? I mean, what are we looking for? Like, how can you aid our accountants on the first step?
Yeah, I think it all depends on if they're folks they're working with have a plan already or no plan. So I think that conversation is different. Obviously, with no plan, this could be part of their tax strategy of helping them save more money. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard of the cash balance plan as well. You could bolt those onto 401k plans. So, I mean, we work with some business owners that have nothing right now. You set up a 401k plan with profit sharing and bolt on a cash balance. Now it depends on the demographics, but you could save up to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 inside of a tax deferred account with these plans. So if they have nothing, they could utilize it as a tax strategy, no doubt, either up to $77,000 per person, or higher. Now, if they have a plan, what I tell everybody, the 401k for a lot of years have been very untransparent. I think if you ask most people you sit with, they probably know how much they pay for Netflix or YouTube TV.
Right.
They know they just increased Netflix $2. But 10 out of 10 folks can never, ever really tell you what they're paying inside their 401k plan. And it's like
mine just went up 9.2%.
Your Netflix account? Or
no, my NPPG.
Gotcha. Yeah. But most
9.2.
Most don't. The fee disclosures are really confusing. Even if I handed you the full disclosure, the 12 pages, it's
Yeah.
hard to read. But most people don't pay attention to it, which boggles my mind that they know more about their baseball stats of the team or their Netflix account, but not their 401k plan, because these fees internally a lot of times are where the bulk of the fees are. These could be eating up your returns because they come off sort of the top of your returns. And as you know, with compounding interest, that can mean thousands of dollars, tens of
Mhm.
thousands of dollars in retirement that you could have had. So,
Mhm.
what we tell everybody, if you haven't really benchmarked this in the past 2 to 3 years, costs have gone down so much with consolidation in the marketplace. You're probably paying too much. You're in a legacy contract. You're in a different share class you shouldn't have been. Because when you started the plan, Ron, you're at zero, right? So you're in a certain marketplace and product for a small market plan. Now your plan has $1 million, $2 million into it. I guarantee the provider hasn't switched that around. You're still paying cost as a zero
Mm.
AUM plan, right? So that is what happens way too often. The small market space, let's call it 25
Gary's
million
going to
and
get a
under,
call.
is
Yeah.
very underserviced because again, most don't specialize in it. So it's like insurance. Like you're not
Yes,
shopping out
yes,
your car
yes.
insurance every
It's
week, every
set it and
6 months.
forget it, and then you just renew because it's too complicated to figure out.
Correct.
Yep. So that's probably the biggest thing we see with the consolidation of vendors. A lot of times too, with the cost savings, where it's typically 20 to 40% savings, we could find folks.
Wow.
Not every time. You know, if they just moved, they're probably in an okay product. But with that too, I think a big miss is the actual plan design of the 401k plan. I don't think it's fit into this box and you just do these three options. There's a lot of different levers you could pull inside of the plan design. I think that could make a big difference from a good plan to a great plan for your employees and yourself.
Yeah. There's so few things I know in this universe. Like listening to you talk about this, I was like, oh yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know any of those numbers. I know my Netflix stuff, but I don't know any of this. So one of the things you wrote about was helping your clients with employee education. What are some of the things? So this is a big one for our audience. We love to educate. We love to share. We love to help people. There's a line that I say a lot. If I can't see it, I can't think it. Einstein said that, right? And so
Mhm.
there's so like 401ks, so many of these things people can't see because they don't either know the jargon or whatever. How do you help
Sure.
educate your clients and therefore maybe their employees to know better and then do better?
Yeah, this is one we're really passionate about. And I think the approach that we take is great because we have a lot of great technology. But I think also with too much tech going on, you can lose a lot of people
Hmm.
with that. So we also have an old school approach as well. So I think you got to do both. I think it comes from a place, the person who's speaking. I feared so many times where we've had a machine shop in rural Ohio. They go to do a employee meeting. The guy
Hmm.
shows up in a Mercedes Benz in a $3,000 suit, and
Yep,
instantly people don't like him. Like
totally.
instantly, right?
Yeah, no
They
thanks.
might as well throw him out. I think
Yeah.
that is one thing when you're talking to folks, kind of knowing your audience. I think is big on the education side of it, and I think too they've had vendors before that try to just sell them everything, so they think they're being sold a product. So what we do on a high level is that every single month we host these monthly financial topic webinars. We have great guests like JP Morgan, Vanguard, these big companies that do the presentation. We host them. They're 20, 30 minutes long. They're during a lunch break for most people in the USA. And they're on different financial topics. So not just 401k plans or AUM. We're talking about 529 plans, Medicaid, Social Security updates, what's going on in the market, what's a target date fund? Like what is that even? Most people don't know. What does compounding
I
interest
don't know.
mean? Right. So we take these little topics and we shoot them out to all of our 12,000 participants in our plans.
It's awesome.
Anytime they hear something that would be of interest, like say they have kids, right? I want to learn more about 529s and not be
Mm-hmm.
sold something. They could pop on one of these Zoom meetings. It's on their lunch break for 20 minutes so they can learn about that. So that's one, being flexible, not
Nice.
just get everybody together because all companies can't do that either.
Right.
On the tech side of it, we do a couple different things. So one, I think we use a customized system for each plan. So all of our plans have this custom link that any 401k question, they could say, employee, go and click on this link. It's right on your payroll site too. If you can't answer that, you could contact John and his team. And on that site, we know everybody learns nowadays on the TikTok, Instagram mindset. You can't show them an hour YouTube video. They will not watch the whole thing, maybe 5 minutes of it, if at best.
Correct. Yep.
So on this site, they click on it. We load in all the plan, everything about their plan, their eligibility requirements, what is the match, what's vesting. And they can play these short, fun videos to learn about their plan. So they can learn about it all in detail. On the side, it'll have like 30-second videos about what does a 1% contribution mean?
Nice.
What are your rollover options? What's traditional? What's Roth? What is that word? What does that mean?
Nice.
All the common questions, so they can learn on their own, right? At their own time, whatever time of the day, watch these short videos to learn about it. Our contact information's in the middle. So if they have more questions, they can book a meeting, talk to us. So that is on the tech side really cool. But I think the most impactful one, guys, is that inside the 401k plan, we have a lot of data about each employee. We have payroll data, so we know their ages, we know how much they make by their paychecks, we know what's in their 401k balance. And so what we do for each of our participants that I think is the most impactful by far, we deal with all the DCIOs and wholesalers of these big investment firms. And it's funny, a lot of times they come to our office to talk to us about their programs and funds. They talk such high level. And I'm sure you guys have been a part of these conversations of alpha
Yes.
and beta, correlation, you name it. None of that stuff correlates to individual meetings one-on-one, right?
Right.
So when we meet with regular employees, they can care less about that stuff. So what we do, we take in the data we know about each employee. We know their age. We know Ron's 45 years old. He makes this
Nice.
amount of money. He has 100,000 in his 401k plan. And this software, what it does, it spits out a one-page report, front and back. And when we sit down with employees, Ron's looking at a piece of paper. So I talked about old school, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these companies have great tools on their website, but we know less than 13.
I can't get into them.
Nobody uses them.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody uses the great tools on Empower and Fidelity. Nobody goes on there, right?
No, I want
We're-
a Ron Saharian one page that is all about me.
Exactly. And so when we sit with folks, this
I
one
love that.
pager will show Ron right up top. The only thing people care about, do I have enough money to retire?
You
They don't
got
care
it.
about what target date or investment accounts are in there. Do I have enough money? So it'll show them on a graph. You're going to, based on what you have now and what we know about you, you're going to run out of money in 10 years of retirement. Here's some different options. And it's front and back, shows them that. Layman's terms, it shows them, hey, if you made this increase that we're recommending, your net paycheck will be less $100, which they care about as well. How's that going to affect what's 2 or 4%? I don't know. Oh, $50 a pay? I get it now. And then
I love this. You're talking human talk to them.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have enough now, but how do we make adjustments? And on the
Right.
back, it'll show them tangible ways to maybe get there. Maybe they can't go from 5 to 13 right away. That's a big jump. What if they went from 5 to 7? And then it'll show them what that means in their take-home pay. And on the bottom, it'll show them the compounding effect of that. Of that 2% increase can mean an extra $250,000 in their retirement at 65.
Yeah.
So like you said, you need to see things that are tangible, right? This shows them, hey, this small increase of $50 a pay could mean a big dollar amount when you go to retire.
Is that why it's called smooth? Because it's just
Yeah, that's
smooth.
nice.
All of the above. We try to make it smooth for the employer and employees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
that's wonderful. Thank you for that. And there are so many nuggets in that one. That was awesome.
Yeah. And so that went by really, really
I know
fast,
we're
John.
done.
Where can our
So
audience
crazy.
reach out to you, learn more about you, hire you, partner with you, all that great stuff?
Yeah. So my email address is just jzakel@smooth401k.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, John Zakel Jr. And then we have 2 websites, smooth401k.com and smoothfinancial.com as the ways you can reach out to us. We're very easy to get a hold of. Like I said, we're a small but mighty boutique firm.
And good dudes. You guys are
yeah.
good dudes as well. And, I love the partnering and I love the openness and I love the making it simple,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't have to be complex to be impactful. Let's have simple. Come bring that back.
Well, a crazy stat is that less than 50% of all companies in the country, which 99% of companies out there are considered small business.
Yeah.
Right.
So less than half of those offer any retirement plan right now.
Oh, wow. I'm
Less than
surprised
half.
it's even half.
So it's close to 60 million people that don't have any access to retirement.
Yep.
That is why the government's stepping in with all these tax credits and mandates. So they're mandating 12 states already and more coming up, that if you have a business in that state or people working in that state, you have to offer something. So the government's stepping in. That's how you know there's an issue, right?
Yeah.
When they're offering these credits and
Yep.
mandates to do that. We just try to
Yeah.
make it smooth and easy for CPAs, financial advisors, companies that work with us.
It's awesome.
And we're the small guys. We want to help the small guy as well.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome, John.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks,
Listen,
John.
guys, hopefully this was valuable. Reach out to John. Tell him Ron said hello.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Awesome. Hang
That's-
on, John. We got a couple more
Yes.
segments to go. Then we'll have you
Great.
wrapped up and out of here. Wow. That was great.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Yep.
thanks, John.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right. I've got big news for you. I can finally spill the beans. The Profit First app, already the complete system with goal setting, expense analysis, and me, Mike Michalowicz, guiding you, just got its biggest upgrade yet. Introducing Profit First Bank, powered by Dream First, directly integrated with the app. That means automatic allocations, real-time clarity, and less friction than ever before. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to start your Profit First journey, this is it. Head to profitfirstapp.com to set up your Profit First bank account and experience the upgrade.
All right.
my
So
gosh.
let's
Here-
see.
oh, I did
here.
the stinger. You
Oh,
can't
you
even
got
hear
it.
it, but I did the
Wow.
stinger. So great.
Wow. Okay. What I learned that I need to go back and review our 401k plan. But you know what? It's right. He's right. We know the stats of some of our favorite athletes, baseball players, but we don't know the numbers of our own business.
Totally.
Right.
That was
And
such a good one.
understanding this is very important.
So I loved the end part. Like I said, there were so many nuggets in there about just joining your clients where they are. And there's so
Right.
many pieces. Go where they are. First of all, know your audience. We say these things, we assume people know this, but most people do not. Answer what he was describing is answering that top hot button question. So it's the number one question that people are thinking and wanting to know the answer for. Start with that. Then they can actually relax and hear you. And so I loved that he's old school paper, and even if it's a PDF and it's on their computer, however he does it. But that top question is so powerful. And I would always, starting with the scariest, biggest, what's the question, and then going from there. And then I loved he nails the rest of it, which is the what's in it for me, because that's all they care about. Like, how
Yep.
do I make this happen? I get the number where you're trying to get me. How do I even do this? How much is it? Poor Ron.
I don't know
those
what's
of you who are
going on,
not
guys.
on-
I am so sorry.
Those of you who are not watching us, his camera is going crazy, but he's good. We're hit. It's fine, Ron. Don't worry about it. We can hear you.
All right. So this is great.
Anyway, so I loved it. And he rolled out, he did some baby steps. He did the rollout of how to make this happen step by step. It's just classic good guy stuff. It's not
Yeah.
hard. It's just
No.
very simple, very direct, and it's client focused. So I love that.
Nice. Awesome.
Great.
All right. Let's see. You got a trippy question for us?
I
And John, you can
do,
come back
I
on if you're still
do.
around and answer
Yeah,
this.
John, if you're still here, you can answer this one. If
Okay.
you'd like to. So this is so funny. I always talk about these cards, always tell the truth. One of the cards was if safety were not an issue, would you skydive or do swim with sharks? And I already saw, because I'm a snooper, that you did skydive, John. So I threw that out of there. So we know what John would do, skydiving.
I recommend it.
I know. I want to do it. That was my answer too. I will do that before I'm 60 for sure.
No.
Okay. This question though is what would you miss most about your home if you moved? So these are all like sort of get to know you questions, but
Yeah.
Ron, you can go first. What would you miss most about your beautiful home if you moved?
Probably my garden.
Yeah.
I always can make a new one, right?
Yeah.
But I've spent every day that I've lived at that house tending to that garden.
I know. It's your second child for sure. Third after Dallas. Maybe
No.
before Dallas. Just
No,
maybe
I got
before Dallas.
cars and stuff like that too.
Oh, fine. You got a lot of children. All right, garden. John, how about you? What would you miss
Yes,
most?
great question. I know you guys have kids also. So I built sort of the backyard that I hope my kids want to hang out in till they're like 35.
Oh, yay.
So that I would miss most
Nice.
about that. We just built a big pavilion. We had a pool in the back when we bought it, and I built it to entertain. So the family, it's kind of the gathering spot for the family, all cousins and brothers and sisters and nieces.
Yeah.
And I hope it's just a cool place for them to come and hang out with their friends for a lot of years.
Very cool.
Oh, lucky. That's great. Well done.
Yeah. What about you,
That's
Liz?
good. That's good dadding right there. So it was going to be my deck for the same reason. So we built a deck a couple years ago, and it's like another room in our house. So we spend so much time out there. But I just finished the kitchen, so now I'm going to say I would miss my kitchen because I've only had it because it's only been open for 2 weeks. So I would really miss that. So.
And
That's
what
awesome.
would you guys miss at your home, listeners? Don't forget to review and subscribe to Grow My Accounting Practice podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Ron. Here it is. Can you hear it?
No,
lightsaber?
I can't
All right,
hear it.
well, it's ready.
John, can you hear my lightsaber? Can you hear it?
No, you
Nope.
can't.
No,
Just
well,
me.
it's going. It's real. Watch out,
I believe you.
everybody. All
It's
right.
real.
Well, I kind of shared it earlier. One of the things, and John mentioned this, retention. Employees are looking for more than a paycheck to show up into work for. So what else can we do, right? What's a win-win? Well, having a defined benefit program, a 401k, being able to help and fiscally educate your staff on, how to retire is key. So what we've done is we've actually woven in that we have our 401k. They administer financial education every quarter, and we have 2 profit sharing components. One is a quarterly profit sharing component, and the other one is defined benefit. This helps out with retention and also helps out with, clarity of how the business is going. And it just feels like it's tighter when everybody is involved and everybody understands the finances of the company. So when in doubt, open an account for 401k, call it a retention, call it a retirement for your staff. That's what we do here
Nice.
at Profit First.
It's great. Thanks, Ron.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome,
We did it.
guys. Well, that's
did it
it
again.
today. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, John. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here. Listeners, don't forget to review and subscribe to Grow My Accounting Practice podcast. And Mike will be back in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Yep. And hey, if you are interested in learning more about Profit First Professionals, head over to our website. It's beautiful. ProfitFirstProfessionals.com. Click on the button that says Become a PFP. You'll have a call with Ron. You'll have a call with me. We'll get to know you. We'll see what's up. And then we'll decide if this makes sense for you, your firm, clients. ProfitFirstProfessionals.com. Y'all, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.